Hi everyone, today is Tuesday, May 24th. As you can see, I am not here today, so I would like you to watch the whole video so you know what you're working on and then you'll be able to get started. So you can put this warm-up in your new warm-up log in Canvas. This is just another round of practice for the relative age dating from yesterday. Come up with your answer, record it, and then when I'm back at school tomorrow, we will go over the answer together. So today what you're going to be doing is continuing on with relative age dating. You're going to take a little bit of notes. Hey, we're going to be going through that here on the video in just a few minutes. Then you're going to finish part 2 of the practice, the part that we didn't get to yesterday. And then you're going to do a graded version of relative age dating. Again, that's going to be posted in Canvas. Tonight for homework, if you don't finish the relative age dating activities today in class, you need to finish them for homework. Also, don't forget to continue to work on your final exam study guide. Okay, so at this point, let's take out our note packets. You're going to use those fill in the blank ones that we were working on yesterday. So at this point, it might be a good time to pause the video and get your notes out so you can complete this real quick. The notes are pretty short today. Okay, so hopefully at this point you have your notes out and you're ready to go. One of the other features that we find with relative age dating is something called an unconformity. An unconformity is when you have some missing rock layers because they got eroded and weathered away. So I'm going to show you some pictures of them. There's a couple different types. So in one of the outcrops, like you see in this picture, if you're looking at my mouse, where you have all the layers of rock, the unconformity is right here along this thick black line where you have the layer that's it's basically not flat anymore. You can see that the layer has this uneven appearance. It's been weathered away. So the 3 types of unconformities just have to do with the type of rock. They're really all the same thing. It just depends on what type of rock is on either side. So the first type of unconformity that you're seeing is called a disconformity. And it's just where you have this erosional feature, this wavy line, between 2 horizontal sedimentary rock layers. So when you have sedimentary on top and bottom and the erosion in between, it's a disconformity. The next one is called a non-conformity. And that's just between a non-sedimentary rock. So in this case, it's this purplish gray layer. It's also labeled as letter N, and a non-sedimentary rock. So this looks like a batholith here in red. So where this gray purple color touches the red, there's this erosion between it. You can see the uneven line. That would be a nonconformity because it's a non-sedimentary rock. That's how I remember it. Okay, usually the one part of this unconformity is flat and horizontal, and the other is sort of irregularly shaped. Okay, let's do the third one. The third one I think is probably the easiest. It is called an angular unconformity. So where you have some of your layers are flat and horizontal, and then underneath the erosional surface, so again, this one is this thick black line, the layers are angled or tilted. So angular unconformity, angled layers. Okay, so that's really what you're looking for. You find that erosional feature where it's not flat, and then you just look on either side. Is it 2 sedimentary layers? Is it sedimentary and non-sedimentary? Or is it sedimentary with some tilting going on? That's really all that you look for to determine the different types of unconformities. And you're going to be practicing this. When you get to part 2 today of the practice from yesterday, that is what you're going to look for. You're going to practice identifying these different types of unconformities. Hey, this is a good picture of what one looks like out in the real world, not in a labeled diagram. So you can kind of see that these 2 rock layers, they don't really look like they match up. They look like something happened in between them, that they're not lining up well. Okay, and that would be our unconformity. All right, guys, so from here on, you want to keep your notes out to help you with your practice. Unless you have those definitions memorized, you're going to want to refer to them. So what you're going to do next is you're going to finish part 2 of the practice from yesterday. Now, if you didn't finish part 1 and get that checked, do that first. Okay, the sub has the key for part 1. Get that key, check it, then do part 2. Okay, you really want to make sure that you're checking your work for the practice because the graded version is almost the same. Now, you probably also noticed, okay, that from the front lab table, I gave you extra practice. If you decide that you'd like to, you can complete the extra practice before you do the graded version. I actually highly recommend that you do that so that way you get a little bit more practice before you do something for a grade. Okay, the graded version of this is posted in Canvas. You can see the title, Relative Age Dating, Determining the Age of the Rock Layers. It's very similar to the practice. You're going to put layers in order from oldest to youngest, and you're going to identify unconformities. The only difference really between the practice and the graded version is you need to complete this by yourself. It is due by the beginning of class tomorrow. So again, if you don't finish in class today, you can finish it for homework. As long as it's turned in Canvas by the time you get to class tomorrow, then you'll get full credit for your work. Okay, so practice first, check your work, extra practice if you need it, and then do the graded version. If you have any questions, make sure that you ask the sub. She'll be happy to help you out, and I will see you guys back in class tomorrow. Have a great day.